Good morning, America, and everywhere else around the world. If you're viewing this video on YouTube, I just wanted to say, how's everybody's wonderful morning going? Mine's going actually pretty well. Just got done working out, and now on my lazy ass to work, and something just caught my attention while I was at the gym is that the presidential inauguration's today. I mean, I knew about it, but I didn't really care about it or anything, because it's just another thing. Because in my opinion, and this is just what I want to bring up and stuff, because there's been some craziness involved in this election. There's been some boo-hooing, and there's been some very loud voices, if you would, being heard. There's been some very drastic steps taken, etc., and I just wanted to, voice a little bit of things for it. Is that one, despite everything, despite whoever is the president. So, Jesus, my nose itches. My nose has been doing this whole spree to where it's been like itchy as hell. But anyways, despite whoever is president, don't give them too much credit. But what I mean by this is that you don't go, hopefully not a single one of you is under the impression that the president has a large amount of power, because they don't. Presidents really do not have a large amount of power. That's just how it is. Now, another argument that I will be hearing about, that I've heard about and stuff, is that the fact that Democrats have a majority of the House, or a majority of the Senate, etc., have the majority of the Senate. Well, and that bills and laws and stuff will be passed more easily because all Democrats think alike. They all think alike. No, they do not. This is a case in point. This be case in point for all those on the Republican side as well, is that President Trump was a Republican, and he did not get as many. And there was the Senate and stuff at the time were in Republican control. A lot of it was Republican control, and a lot of those bills a lot of things that he said just did not get passed, even though he had the majority. Even though the majority of the House was swaying Republican. So why is that? It's because they all don't think the same. For instance, all Democrats are not going to think the same. Now, don't get me wrong, there are radicals on both sides. Everybody's going to be radical. There's going to be some radicals. There's going to be some radical thinking. But luckily, we have enough checks and balances. And in fact, there is some sort of competent people. And I'm going to say that sort of. There's still some thinkers and stuff. Career politicians will say whatever they need to say to please the masses and stuff. But in all actuality, a lot of the things said by any campaign or anything like that just doesn't happen that way. And case in point is going to be I was reading up a little bit on Biden's economy plan and stuff, which it sounds great on paper. It sounds fantastic on paper. However, the rest of the team is probably not going to follow, so that plan is going to go down the drain. I mean, there's going to be some things that are going to be passed more easily because there's a much larger public outcry for it and stuff. But honestly, it's not anything to make some real changes over 4 years. It's things that are not going to make real big differences over the next 4 years. And I just want to bring that in case of point as well. It's 4 years. It's not the end of the world. Everybody, I come from a very Republican area. I wouldn't say Republican state anymore. I come from a very Republican area, and everybody is screaming we're going to be coming to a socialist country. There's going to be some very drastic changes. They're going to take our guns. They're going to enforce these type of weird laws on us and stuff, take away our freedoms and whatnot. And I can honestly say that was the same type of arguments I was hearing from the other side 4 years ago when Trump was elected. And guess what? Them liberals survived. I'm a Republican. Them fucking bitch-ass liberals survived. And if Republicans are hardy men and stuff like that, we can weather this storm too. It's not going to be it is not going to be as bad as people assume. Now, there's going to be some things that's going to change. Don't get me wrong, there is going to be some changes. I don't know what those changes are going to be in store because, like I said, not everybody in the Senate is going to agree with everything, regardless if they're Democrat or Republican. They're not going to agree. Nothing is really going to, how do I say this? Nothing is really going to create drastic changes in the next 4 years. That's just the God honest truth. It's just not going to really affect us in a way that's going to, be crazy and stuff. So that's all I really wanted to talk about, is because it's going to be it's happened. I'm sorry. All my friends who voted for Trump and stuff, and who's had outcries for rigged election and stuff like that. I'm sorry that it's happened. It is what it is, and when the official blows the whistle, it's just like college football. When the official blows the whistle, it's game over. It's game over, and you wait till next season. Okay, this is all what it is. We're lucky enough that we live in we're lucky enough that we live in a country to where we can elect. If we do not like what we've seen, we can elect new officials to bring in new, fresher ideas. Now, I think this election did open up eyes towards people more than anything. Is that everybody was screaming that it's going to be a universal. It's going to be a landslide type victory. And in some areas it was. Some areas it was, but in a lot of majority of places it really wasn't. It was not really like one state strictly voted for this candidate and one state strictly voted for this candidate. If you look at the whole numbers as a state, it is a very, very, very large split between candidates. It's a very large split, and that type of large split, I wouldn't say very large split. There's a very small percentage of who went for, who led that state, whatever. Some states are obviously going to be more because some states are more Democratic and some states are more Republican. But take Georgia, for instance. It is a very small percentage as to who won that election. Very small. I'm talking about like in between 1% or less. That is insane, and that should open up eyes to a lot of people that it was not that landslide of victory. It was not that landslide of everybody does not think the same way as you do. And I attribute all that bullshit type thinking to two fucking places. One is going to be social media, because social media is like inputs your, believe it or not, or social media, finds like-minded, it's like records things that you like, records things that you thought was funny, record things that you've watched, and then finds like-minded things and like-minded people, so that way you're in this little social bubble of same thinking people, and that gives you underneath this weird impression that everybody thinks the same way you do. And the second thing I blame is the media, like news networks and stuff like that. They're supposed to be neutral and not pick sides or agendas. However, it was clear that media outlets were picked sides and they had their own agendas. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. It's just how it is. So that's what I attribute to these two things. And when people were looking at these polls, looking at these numbers, and can't believe that this thing was still going on for days after the election, the whole numbers and stuff were still going on for days after the election, they're like, wow, it's not as much as landslide as we thought. And I hope people realize that we are in a very sore moment. There's a very sore, there's some very sore tenderness for us, because America's really divided. And I wouldn't even say I wouldn't even say it's like a division between I wouldn't even say it's a division between, you know, races, religions, or anything like that. I'd say it's a large division between our urban areas versus our rural areas. I mean, honestly, it's urban versus rural, and it's crazy how people just did not realize that there's such strong division between urban versus rural areas. Hey, it is what it is, and I just hope, you know, we can all just put it past us a little bit, because it's crazy, the strong type of division and stuff. I mean, I live in my country. Sometimes I just can't stand the fucking people in it. I mean, everybody. They're all fucking nuts. But I'm American, just like some of you folks listening in. You're Americans, and you're gonna stay American regardless of who the fuck president is. I remember when Trump was president, people were like, "Oh, we're gonna move out. We're gonna go to Canada and stuff like that." Them bitches didn't fucking move. You know why? Because you're Americans, and Americans have this attitude upon them that we could take punch and we could fucking get back up. We don't run away from problems. We go straight forward to them. So we're Americans. Regardless of who's president and regardless of who you voted for, just know that you're still Americans, and that's a good thing. That is, we are blessed to be Americans. Well, that's all what I wanted to talk about for now. This is a short little video, and hopefully this video quality is a little bit better, because I noticed, because I don't have my AirPods anymore. Funny story, I lost them. I have no idea where the fuck they disappeared to. But so I noticed that my last video's quality was a little bit different. So hopefully this one is a little bit better. I don't know how it would be, but hopefully this one's better. So anyways, I'm gonna sign off, and I hope you guys, if you guys would, give me a like, comment, and subscribe, and look forward to the next video. I have no idea what it's gonna be about, but of course, I have no agendas for my videos. I just want to talk about shit that comes into my mind. And as always, work hard. Peace!